Today, we're talking about Xbox raising the prices of Game Pass again. Apex Legends is also gouging its player base with a scummy new Battle Pass system, and in better news, the new Dragon Age has confirmed a couple new features we must discuss. Welcome, friends, to this week's episode of Good Playing With You, the weekly gaming podcast. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by our Good Playing Good buddies, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
And Matt Molding.
Hey now.
We got a packed show, but before we dive in, let's check in with my brotastic bevy of Matts and find out what everyone's been playing this week. Lord?
I couldn't help myself. I fired up MGS5 on the Steam Deck, and then as soon as I started up, boys, I realized MGS5, it doesn't do it for me for some reason. There was one particular mission, you guys, where I realized I stopped and I'm just I'm kind of hard stuck because I don't have a particular item to do it with. So it's really hard. Malding, is this ringing any bells for you? Because
no.
I need a rocket launcher because there's tanks that come. I can't destroy them with mines. And I'm just that game sort of can be frustrating like that out of nowhere, to me at least. And I'm this is just not the traditional Metal Gear Solid. I don't know. It doesn't have its hooks in me quite like a previous installment of that series.
Wait, and is this the last one, the most recent Metal Gear? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
the big open world one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely remember points being super frustrated by that game because I think I quit it once and then went back to it to play again. But I don't remember any what the specific instance was. Probably another game came out and I got it.
Yeah, I just need I think I need a linear Metal Gear Solid. That just works a little better for me, I think. Just kind of going from point A to B is in a crazy story. That's all I need. And then, of course, we got some Overwatch. I was able to check out the new season, Malding. Yeah. I checked it out on PC, checked it out on Steam Deck. I actually got a win in comp playing on the Steam Deck, which is insane. And we had one of the Optimus Prime Reinhardts on our team. And that was pretty sick. Those skins are actually really cool.
I've seen it in a couple games. I've seen a couple of the Reinhardt's one. So they've at least sold $100 worth of those skins because they're $25 a piece. It's crazy. Ridiculous how expensive they are.
It's insane. The skins in Overwatch 2 will always be completely way too expensive for my taste. But yeah, that's really been about it. Yeah, a lot more Steam Deck. I feel like the Steam Deck's really coming in handy these past couple weeks with things being a little busier. So still loving it over here. That's it for me.
Nice.
So I pretty much burnt myself out on Final Fantasy 14. So my 30-day free trial is done, and I don't know that I'm gonna spend $22 a month or whatever it is to re-up it and play. Plus, buying the new Dawn Guard expansion is another $40.
We all know you're gonna go back. You're gonna go back and
I don't know. I don't
can't resist.
Yeah, you're gonna get the shakes in about 2 months. I don't know. I'm clocking it now.
I'm gonna try not to. But what I did go back to is Baldur's Gate 3, and I just want to take a second to talk about this game. I know people have talked about it ad nauseum, but how good it is. But it really, just to give you an example of how phenomenal this game is, I've played through the beginning maybe 7 or 8 times through the tutorial mission, because I've been trying the honor mode version where if you die, you have to restart the whole game. And I've died a couple times, which means I have to go through the tutorial mission again. And this last time that I played it, I thought I had, just in the very first room, I thought that I had found everything that I could because I'd played through it so many times. And my last playthrough, I'm well, let me go over on this side. And I found 2 secret chests in the very first room that I had never found before. And if I found 2 secret chests in the first room that I'd never found before and I'd played through it 9 times, how many secret things must there be throughout the entire 120-hour game that I haven't seen yet? And I just got to say that is makes it such a phenomenal game that I'm just really happy to play, and I think it's a really just like hats off to those developers for creating it. And has there ever been a game that you guys have felt that way about, that you think that I feel about this, like that you just like admire the work that went into it and love it so much? Can you think of anything that like equals that?
When it comes to games that I think like the craftsmanship really comes into play, I mean, a lot of people think this, but why it's the one that they're waiting for right now is the Silk Song. Why am I forgetting
Hollow Knight.
what? Hollow Knight. Yes. Hollow Knight has a lot of great craftsmanship. I think that is like one of those games that has just a lot of care put into it, a lot of little secret bits here. But geez, to find 2 secret chests in the first room though, Malding, that's pretty incredible, I must say. That would blow my mind as well.
Yeah.
Agreed. For myself, I've been playing a lot of Blood Hunt. Have you guys played that at all?
No, what's
it was
that?
like an online shooter with vampires, like back in the day. It's not really, I don't know. It's a dead game. That's been fun. I played Dredge, which has been fun. My nephew, Jake, just bought it. And so I've been playing it and he's been playing it. So it's been kind of cool. Talk to him about it. But it's kind of like a gothic Lovecraftian like boat story with fishing and stuff. So it's mellow, but it's got cool, creepy vibes. Definitely worth checking out. It's super, super cool. And then because there hasn't been a lot of stuff coming out, I've been playing Borderlands 3 again because they've got that sale on Xbox where you get everything for like the $30. So of course I fell for that. Borderlands 3 is pretty good. It's got its problems. Tiny Tina was better in terms of level design and that sort of stuff, but it just kind of put me back in that, like, sometimes you just need to shoot someone in the face. So it's put me back in that mood of just guns and shooting people and having a great time. But then it got me thinking, like, holy crap, they announced the movie was coming out in August 9th. And they haven't announced a Borderlands 4. And there was the big rumor that at Summer Games Fest, Borderlands 4 was definitely going to be announced. So it's what everyone kept saying. So I expected it. So it looks like we've got another situation here, like the Mario movie or like a Fallout, where we've got another big media property releasing a film, and then we don't have a game to tie in alongside of it. Do you think there's any chance that they'll like sneakily announce it or maybe put a trailer out? I'm just jonesing for more Borderlands content and getting, pumped for the movie. I know I'm the only one. But what do you guys think about that?
I think it's possible. Like, I don't think in this day and age, they can't miss an opportunity to, launch a game like surprise. Like, could you see it being like a shadow drop? I could probably see that happening. I mean, I think at this point, I don't know, maybe not a shadow drop. Borderlands is too big of an IP, right? Yeah. So I would be a little surprised if it was a shadow drop, but hey, I honestly feel like that would make the game, I think, make the game explode. It would go into the stratosphere if they did do some sort of shadow drop. I think, I don't know, because, okay, one other, like the Fallout show, like they didn't have a surprise game like I would have thought they would have too.
Right?
And
yeah, they missed it. And
they missed it.
Super Mario Brothers missed it.
Yeah.
And Last of Us just did remasters. I mean, like all these properties that are becoming these huge, movies and TV shows are missing the game tie-in. I'm dying for another Borderlands, and it looks like this one's missing too, and I'm just bummed about it. I am heartbroken.
Where you need to be on the PR team. Help them out. They need help. Help them.
It sounds like. But speaking of, there's a few companies that need some help in the hotlines or headlines. So let's hop in those and talk about them. There are not enough rakes for Xbox to keep stepping on. At some point, you think the world would run out of rakes for them to quit stepping on. And they really didn't do themselves any favors with the latest Xbox Game Pass price increase. As of September, it looks like the Game Pass Ultimate is going to $19.99. They've also introduced a new tier that doesn't have any of the day one exclusives, so it's kind of like, why? And they've made their product a lot more confusing. But overall, just a huge disappointment. I'm gonna read it real quickly from VG247. Says. There's still major changes coming in September. Game Pass Ultimate is getting $19.99. And then PC Game Pass is also getting a hike to $11.99. The annual subscription for Xbox Game Pass Core is also being increased to $75 for the annual. And then Game Pass is getting the new tier of $14.99. That's the ones without the day one. So what do you guys, and just as a reminder, well, I mean, what are you guys' reactions on this one?
I think that Game Pass is a very good deal, and I'm
with these new prices. Does it remain a good deal though?
Yes, I think it. I think it does. I'm willing to spend $20 a month to play any game that I want on there, because there's lots of games on there that are $60 games. That is 3 months of Game Pass that you're paying to just play one like new release game. So like, for example, Starfield, I would have bought that right away. I would have bought that day one. So technically it saved me, $60, $70. But if it gets much higher, I'm going to have to really start thinking twice about it. If it gets to like $25, that might be where I'm like, okay, that might not be worth it. Like, I have a threshold where I'm going to stop doing it. And hopefully they don't hit that threshold, is all I'm saying.
And yeah, Dan, just to get so I'm 100% clear, the 1999 one does include the day one drops?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think my reaction is, I think we're starting to teeter on whether or not like I need to do calculations, see how many games I am actually downloading a month.
Yeah.
Like, is this worth it at this point? Like, am I just waiting? Am I paying, I don't know, like, am I paying all these month subscription fees and then just playing like one main game? I love being able to jump on and like, I love keeping an eye on the Game Pass drops and like jumping in and just like at least getting a little sample of a game. And I like, that's the joy of Game Pass. But if we're getting to a price where it just stops like making sense exactly, and I'm like more so waiting for these big, huge AAA titles to drop, it might be a little tough. And then just like, I just think I'm confused on like the day one pass option, because obviously like I wouldn't mind trying to like save a few bucks, but does it make sense? And like, will these games like, how long is it going to really take for these games to go from not being day one until they hit this secondary tier? Could it be a whole year? Like,
oh yeah, I would definitely think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
See, that to me is like also like not worth it. It seems like they're trying to create this deal, but it's like, in reality, it really only makes sense if you pay the $19.99 option, because that's like, yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I'm pissed off about price increases. I'm sick of them on all these platforms, and that includes Xbox. I think the Xbox price increase is absolute bullshit, and I'm sick of people saying now that it's still a good deal. I think it is a deal. I don't think it's a good deal. I mean, if you look at the math, you have to pay for at least 3 brand new games and then maybe an independent 3.5 games for this to actually be worth it. There are going to be some years where this is worth it, and there are going to be some years where this isn't worth it. I think, they're really going to have to bring it. But what chaps my hide here is that they promised us last year, they said with the acquisition of the Activision Blizzard, it wasn't going to affect the price of Game Pass, because they increased the price of Game Pass last year. I don't know if you guys remember. It was originally $14.99. It went to $16.99. And now 1 year later, after they increased it to $16.99, it's going to $20. And that's bullshit, because what's happening is it's a Call of Duty tax. And they are placing Call of Duty on their service, which they should, but we're being taxed for it. And that pisses me off, as we see what's going to happen the next time they release a AAA game, Starfield 2 or something like that. Elder Scrolls, are they going to keep hiking the price on us there? You bet your ass they are, if we're going to let them get away with it. And that's why I think this is complete and total bullshit. It's been 1 year since our price hike. And here we are, shelling out even more than we were before.
Yeah, that's really well said. I'm glad you did the math on like the AAA games and how those stack up, because I think that is something that really needs to be taken into consideration. And I don't know, just these games. Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty, with that announcement, there was a bunch of rumors saying they were going to announce a price hike then, and people were like, no way, they're going to announce it in the new year. And so this actually is coming sooner than originally slated. So this makes me like a little bit even more nervous. Like, are they going to maybe even jump it again in the new year? Like, we're not even like close to, because when does Call of Duty come out?
Well, okay, so the rumor is,
Yeah.
and I do think Microsoft sometimes does this when they do a price hike. They'll put, like they did Diablo last June. They raised the price from $14.99 to $16.99, and then real quickly afterwards they put Diablo on there, and everyone's like, great. Now this time they're getting ahead of it. It's been 1 year and 1 month, and now they're really doing the next price hike. And so it's rumored now that they are going to put the old back catalog of Call of Duties on there within the next month to make people happy and to make amends and that sort of stuff. And then they're hoping that by the time the year ends, that people will have forgotten about it and the new Call of Duty will hit and everyone will be happy. But I'm still going to be pissed off about it, but they're hoping other people will be happy.
Yeah.
So in comparison, how much is the PlayStation? PlayStation Network monthly fee?
I think monthly for the basic tier it's $15.
And you get free games from that one too, right?
You get three free games.
Not new ones though.
Yeah. No, not new ones.
Well, they have one. They have a version where you get new ones, right?
No, they don't have it. So their price tiers are Essential, which is $9.99, which you need for just playing online. Extra, which is $14.99, and then they have $17.99 for PS Plus Premium, and that does not include new games. I don't know if you're on PlayStation. I don't know what you're thinking when you're subscribing to one of those other than the basic. I have no clue.
I don't even have the basic for that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like it really doesn't make sense because a lot of these free to play games don't even require it. So that's totally out of. I mean, I was paying $15.99 because I did want to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that's how I had it, and it was locked. I was like, okay, I got to shell out $14.99 to get it back. I did like some of the games, but the games lately have been so trash. You're right, like it's not worth it at all. Game Pass all the way. Eats its lunch.
What's pissing me off, though, is that they've got some lofty goal that we've seen in leaked documents about 70 million subscribers, but the Game Pass isn't growing as fast as they wanted to, so they keep upping the price so that they can make their shareholders happy and say that we've increased revenue. But what they're really going to do is have jerks like me jumping on CD keys, which great deal, don't sleep on it, getting like $11 per month on these Game Pass. I banked a year. That's the max amount you can bank on CD keys. So I'm good for the next year. But then when that happens, I'm going month to month. So I will cancel my Game Pass when it doesn't have anything good. And I will sit there and I'll wait, kind of like you do for HBO or something like that. You wait for it to get a few shows and then you dip in for a month and then you dip out. The churn is going to be off the chain in about a year for these people. And what are they going to do then? They're sure going to be thinking about another price hike. I don't think this is the end of it. And I think it sucks that people are just this apathetic that they're putting up with it. I'm just bummed because this was a good deal and now it's not a good deal anymore. It's just a deal.
Well, yeah. Could you imagine a world where they're like, actually, we need to get subscribers. Let's lower the cost of this.
I can if they were smart. I think that's how you bring people in, but that's the way that all the platforms did. I mean, remember Netflix was about, like just a few bucks for the streaming option. It was free at first, a few bucks. And then now they're gouging people too.
Hulu was free when it first came out. That was free.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Nintendo's only like $5, right? But their online stuff sucks. So it's worth $5. I think it's $5 a year. Or something crazy like
I think it actually is $20
$20 a year. Okay,
yeah.
So I was
we
a little
should do a group discount thing though. They have got like family memberships we should look into. But anyway, I digress. Now I've groused too much about Xbox Game Pass, and I'm sure
or not enough.
Yeah,
too much or not enough.
You guys will hear more about it, but our listeners, I want to save their ears for the next thing I want to complain about, and that is Apex Legends, Lord, this is a story you had.
Oh yeah. So Apex Legends fans they're furious over the new battle pass system.
And rightfully so. This
And
is
rightfully so.
bullshit.
This is crazy. So how it works now, so starting in season 22, they are going to introduce the battle pass, and it's going to come in two halves, and players are expected to pay for both halves. So $20 total. So no longer that $10 battle pass system that we all know and love. You're going to have to pay for the first half, and then you have to pay for the second half. And
On top
people,
of that, yeah, they have removed the ability to earn credits from your
yes,
previous battle pass. So there's no, like, previously people would finish the battle pass, and it's a great reward for your loyal players, and then they would get the next battle pass for free and then earn the credits and stuff. They've removed that completely. So for every season, and we're used to battle passes being $10, but now for every season there's two battle passes and two halves. So every season is $20, no credits whatsoever. And I think that is just trash bullshit.
I mean, I don't even understand. Like, that to me is I don't know where they're
Agreed.
going for this, you know? It's just like, are they
This is their corporate overlord EA getting in their pocketbook saying, hey, we need more money because we're EA douchebags. So, like, they start and squeeze their players, because what's happening is their game isn't growing anymore. It's got a static fan base. But they're like, well, we're not growing anymore, so now we got to make more money. It's exactly like Game Pass, where their subscribers aren't growing, so they raise the price, and that's exactly what's happening here. We're seeing the exact same thing with Game Passes. Apex Legends players are being squeezed because of their corporate parent, and it sucks shit.
I'm just over here waiting for this to be the norm for Overwatch. Like, I could definitely see that. Oh yeah.
Well, on Overwatch just recently, for their game or for their season pass, just recently started giving you credits to buy the next season.
Oh, nice.
So you have to play through 2 seasons to get enough credits to buy 1 season, but they did add it. Diablo, I don't think Diablo you get enough credits to buy the next season. So it's only in rare cases, I think, that they do that. I think Fortnite they do, right?
Totally.
If you finish a season, you can buy the next one for free.
Yeah. But
Call
that
of
keeps
Duty
me into the game,
well.
though. I in my mind, I'm like, I'm earning credits in Fortnite. I'm definitely going to get the next battle pass for free. And hey, I'm here. I might as well throw them a bone and buy this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, that I feel like, that right there, it's like you get also a skin, and then everybody's happy. But now it's like, it's not enough. Well, they must have had some sort of data analysis where they're like, actually, there's like, almost 50 or 60% of our players are just earning the battle pass through battle pass coins. So we need to remove that fun and just like actually start earning money again.
But what happens is then people get pissed off and they start to leave.
Yeah.
Like, giving free coins and free battle passes, that engenders positivity and keeps people engaged in the game. And when you start removing that, their player counts will drop. I guarantee it.
Agreed. I just don't know where, like, there must be just enough players out there that are just willing to bite the bullet and open up their wallets. And it's just shocking to me.
It's
like, they're so
willing. $25 old skin, people who buy $25 skins on Overwatch, those whales, I think, isn't that what they call them?
The whales.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me. I could never imagine that. Even if I was a little kid, my parents, if I asked for their credit card for a $25 skin in a video game, I would be getting just like smacked across the face. Like, it just would not
and rightfully
happen.
So.
I know. And that's like the thing. It just, that kind of stuff would not happen. But I guess maybe if there's just enough adults who are out there earning money, I mean, I wouldn't spend my hard-earned money on that, but what do I know?
What if they had to pay for a Nintendo helpline? What about a long distance Nintendo helpline they had to pay for? That's what mine had to do.
Oh, see, I would fully support that. That's awesome. Let's go. More Nintendo helplines.
How do you kill this boss in Final Fantasy? And then they look through like a notebook of hints and tell you how to do it.
I love that. But yeah, I mean, it's just disappointing. I can imagine this being the norm, sadly, for games kind of going forward, to get just a little extra money
They're
from
going to
players.
keep charging it if people are going to keep playing it. And so
That's right.
we're the problem, I guess.
I
And we're
guess.
the solution. So I say we kick them in the wallet.
Right.
Anyway, moving on. Let's talk Dragon Age. That one's been a little bit contentious because A, it's a fantastic franchise and I can't wait to play it. But B, the gameplay didn't go over so well. But there's been a lot of news leaking out, or coming out about it as they're promoting the game before it comes out. And Malding, you had a story, and then I have a little add on to that story. But you had an interesting story about Dragon Age.
Yeah, so I think a lot of games give you this option. I've never looked into it because this is not how I get fun out of games. But Dragon Age, according to an article from Game Informer, in their difficulty options, they're going to let you turn off death entirely, which it hurts me to my core as a gamer to not have that risk of dying. That does not.
I know you always play on hard mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
That does not sound fun to me at all. I don't know how people can enjoy that, but I guess I'm glad it's there. But a little bit into it, they said a new Game Informer preview has a closer look at Veilguard's difficulty options, which at the most basic level includes 3 broad settings: storyteller, for those who are in it for the narrative; adventurer, which is presumably a more challenging balance between story and combat; and nightmare, which is what I'll play, which is self-explanatory. Players can switch between storyteller and adventure mode at will, but nightmare is a permanent choice, one that I'll be taking, so make your move at your peril. And then in that, you can fiddle different options like enemy health, how much damage they put out, and then a full-on auto-aim option is available,
Wow.
and one that prevents death occurring outright. Game director Corinne Bush, I think that's how it's pronounced, told the site that none of those options are cheats. It's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up. So I think this is a common argument in gaming circles. It's the good GIT GUD, like it happens a lot with the Soulsborne games. Like people get angry at other players for using summons, and that's not how you're supposed to play the game. You're supposed to play this game this way. And I think that is all silly. But there's something about turning off death entirely in a game that's just sure, do it. That's absolutely fine. Play the game how you want. And I like that they're giving you that option to play the game how you want. But man, that just does not sound fun to me at all, to have no death. Like, where's the risk? You may as well just play like cards. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Everyone has their own, I'm sure. What do you guys think about a no death option?
No death. It's just like, haven't we heard of like God mode cheats? Like, in my opinion, like you could play on easy, flip on some cheats, and that is where you go. Like, if just having from the settings, it almost is like enabling, like it's one of those things where it's just like, are we just like getting to a point where it's like almost like these video games are kind of coddling you to an extent where it's like it's too much. You got to learn to adapt. You got to have a little bit of a challenge, even if it's, like, I think video games can definitely be challenging, and they can teach you how to be resilient and go out and like put your mind to beating something, especially like something like a Dark Souls or, Elden Ring, whatever. I think those games are so good with that. But if you just have a game that you're just alive forever, and that's a difficulty setting that you can just enable from the get-go, it just seems like a kind of cheap way to just, beating the game or doing something. Like you got to earn it a little bit.
How do
You're
you
like,
get better at a game if there's no consequence for being bad at it? I don't know.
Look, this just goes along with exactly what the gameplay looked like. It looked like Fortnite, kind of kiddie and like not very, mature. So this has me a little bit worried, to be honest with you. I can't take this game seriously as a real game. It's just something out there, mass market, mass media here. It's like a PG-13 horror movie. It's like Blumhouse all over again. It's just I don't know. It is what it is. But I do have a little bit better news for my fellow perverts in another story
Oh,
that's related to
hello.
Dragon
I'm
Age.
here. I'm here. I'm
I
right here.
know, right? It says, this is from Game Informer. They actually did a cover story on it.
It must
this
be
month,
from the
and
same article.
It is, yeah, the same interview, because this one references our friend Corinne Bush as well. So it says, yes, Dragon Age the Veilguard has nudity, and I've seen it. So not only does this make my inner pervert really happy, because, you know, I'm a proud pervert and perverts unite, but also the main point that I want to talk about here is that I am super concerned that this is a little bit of a kiddie game. And it doesn't have to have nudity be mature, but it has to have mature storylines. That's what I'm hoping to get out of it, and mature themes. And so this is kind of like a good, a good sign, at least, you know.
Yeah, we need to tell them a half a butt cheek doesn't count as
Exactly. So this
Side
guy,
boob, side boob.
side boob.
the writer of the article, Wesley LeBlanc, is talking about his use of the Dragon Age Veilguard creature or custom creation for his character in the beginning, because he got a demo of it. And he says, because he went to Edmonton, Canada earlier this year. He says, we were customizing a feminine Rook, the main character, while adjusting for body options. Our Rook's shirt disappeared and let us customize things like chest size, which is just fun. And then Veilguard game director Corinne Bush smiled, likely knowing full well that nudity in the character creator meant nudity elsewhere in the game, like Veilguard's romances, something I know BioWare fans will be delighted to hear. This is a mature RPG, Corinne. Yeah, represent. I only see topless nudity in the character creator, and when I later ask BioWare if there's bottom nudity as well, I'm told that that's something that she or they want fans to discover for themselves in the game. Interesting answer, considering we're talking about genitalia here, but I don't push the issue further. Though the game's leads wouldn't share too much about the romance options in the game, I have a feeling all nudity will play a part in the cutscenes, and that's what BioWare is alluding to. So that's just a little fun thing, and it just has me hoping that there are mature themes to it, because the graphics have been kiddie, the no death is kiddie, you know, like the TNA will be fun, but maybe there will be mature and adult themes of like storytelling that we can enjoy, and it won't just be a pile of driveling trash to placate the masses and 12-year-olds.
Yeah, something about this also kind of seems like PR cleanup. Maybe I think they might have gotten some feedback that like this is a lot of people are thinking we had a kiddie game. Let's get this writer in here and show off the boobies and
Side boob.
just show off the side boobs, half butt, and that'll be enough to satisfy the masses.
It could be PR.
It could be. I mean, maybe, but it's still like until we see it, I can't help it, but this game is like rated T for teen, man. Until like,
well, not yet. It's not rated yet. It's not rated yet.
I know. Sorry, but in my mind, it's a rated
as
T.
Lots of people in the comments wanted to remind
Dan.
Dan.
I got told.
Yeah,
in fact, some girl went so far as to say, look, if you just check the about section on their Twitter, you will see that they wrote a line in there. It says, our anticipation is this game will be rated at mature. So I'm like, it's because I argued online, it's not rated yet. And then she shot back and was like, well, look at this. And so,
yeah,
I don't know.
We got flamed. Yeah, we got torched for the last
as one does.
Comment on this. Yeah, but I mean, still, we can't. We're seeing it with our eyes. Like we watched the preview, 20 minutes of gameplay preview. It looked kiddie. So that's my final takeaway. I don't know. Until we see it, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some boobs in there. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Side boobs. Lord willing. Yeah. Molding, what does side boob do for you? Anything?
No, it doesn't really do. And except I like that a side boob option is available. Everyone should be able to see some side boob.
Inclusivity. I love it.
Yeah.
Side boob for sure. Why not?
All right, moving on. We have a story that says Nintendo says in ode to AI. Lord, this was for you.
Yeah. So guess what? Nintendo is taking a stand against AI. This comes from Game World Observer, published by, Evgeny Obdekov. So
Oh,
sorry if I butchered
Nailed
that
it.
name.
Nailed
But
it.
Nintendo has no plans to use Gen AI in games, instead delivering value that cannot be created through technology alone. Okay, and this is a quote coming from Shintaro Furukama, who's the president of Nintendo. This
Nailed
is
it.
him now. Was that right? Did I nail it or did I trash it? All right, thumbs up. Okay, so generative AI, which has been a hot topic in recent years, can be more creative, but we also recognize that has issues with intellectual property rights. Our company has decades of know-how in creating optimal gaming experiences for our customers. While we are flexible in responding to technological developments, we hope to continue to deliver value that is unique to us and cannot be created through technology alone.
I think
And
this is
yeah,
bullshit PR speak because AI isn't making them money now. But as soon as they figure out how to make a cash cow money with AI, that tune's going to change so fucking fast, it'll make your head spin.
I agree. I just think it's also funny, like something that really stands out in this quote to me. It says, but we also recognize it has issues with intellectual property rights. So, like, it sounds to me like they're only
I
concerned with intellectual property
Mario.
rights.
Yeah, I put in like trying to make a thumbnail something about Mario and he showed up. So I was like, ooh, well, it just ripped
Yeah.
off. It wasn't me though.
Yeah. It's just it's interesting. I mean, I think it's good. Honestly, like, I like that Nintendo is honestly
It's
like
lip
the
service,
king.
bro. Lip
You think
service.
it's lip service
Oh,
only, bro?
easily.
Am
Yeah.
I just? Oh man, I love to.
You're a
I
nice
love to
guy.
idolize. Yeah, I just like to think that Nintendo is like serving the people, and they're like, yeah, don't worry, we won't just come out with some bullshit AI game. Like, we are in here handcrafting these masterpieces, which they have. I mean, think of it like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the
Yeah.
Kingdom. Hello, those are beautiful games. And I want more of that. So if that means AI is going to get involved and start effing that all up, then hey, good riddance. I want that human touch. Yes, please.
Molding, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm with Dan that I think it's lip service because these are corporations. They're not family. They're not family members. They answer to that bottom line shareholder. And as soon
Yeah.
as a game comes out that used AI in the creation of like quests and ongoing
Yeah.
something that is really subtle, they'll turn it real quick. And all of a sudden, here's the next Zelda game that's going to have quest givers that's all generative AI. And
Agreed.
there's no going back.
Oh man, that's sad times. I love just being a little naive little boy and
Yeah.
thinking Nintendo's
Sorry, Lord.
just, yeah, well, dreams are crushed, but that's okay.
Well, speaking of dreams, there's one more rumor I wanted to talk about because I'm a huge fan of the Far Cry series, but it is stale as AF. As we all know, Ubisoft likes to pump out the same game, game after game after game, making very little changes to the formula. Are you guys fans at all of the Far Cry series?
Oh yeah.
Not that last one. That
Yeah.
last one
Yeah.
was miserable. But all the other ones
Agreed.
I've really loved. I think
Yeah.
you actually got me in Far
You're
Cry
welcome.
3. I think you were the one
Yeah, that was good
suggested I
stuff.
play that back in the day. And just like that main character was fantastic because you started as like this schlub frat boy and grew into
Yep.
the arc of your main character was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
that's with you getting
Well,
buried in the sand, right? Just sorry.
yes,
That's it.
but let's
Yes.
hope
Okay.
Far Cry 7 brings it back to how good it used to be. It sounds like they are thinking about changing a little bit of the formula, and I'm curious to see what you guys think of this one. So this is a complete rumor or whatever, but because it's coming from the gaming Bible, so like whatever.
Oh, when I know
Um,
that one, yeah.
yeah, that website's shady.
My
But
favorite
anyway,
book
it
is
says
Job in the gaming Bible. That's my favorite book.
a fun game. Supposed details of Far Cry 7 story have surfaced online. It sounds like a completely new experience compared to the past Far Cry games. Okay, that's bullshit. It doesn't. But admittedly, again, the gaming Bible is already lying to us. But whatever. Let me get to the rumor here. The rumor says sounds like Ubisoft has major plans to reimagine what the Far Cry game could be like, and we're not just talking about the rumored New England setting. Ubisoft hasn't confirmed the existence of Far Cry 7 yet, but let's be real, we all know it's going to happen, as one of the developers' best performing series aside from Assassin's Creed. New rumors about the game indicate it'll still be open world to explore, but you won't have all the time in the world to actually explore it, as the series is supposedly introducing a time limit. This comes from a fan on Reddit who claimed that they'd heard the upcoming game will be about saving your family who have been kidnapped one by one in a non-linear setting. So it's probably, I mean, Reddit's your source. We already know it's BS, but this is something that the Dead Rising franchise has done several times, and then they actually removed it themselves because fans didn't think it was that great. But Far Cry bringing this back, is this something that would interest you, and would it freshen up and give this series a new lease on life?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, you both like
Yes.
it. You're both in.
Yeah, absolutely. They got to do something.
I agree. At this point, I'm like, hell, do anything to change that up. I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. I think, again, like adding a time, adding that time element just raises the stakes, which is great. And then I hear, okay, so this is in England or London. I'm hoping it has some sort of Assassin's Creed Syndicate vibe, because Assassin's Creed Syndicate is so good. If you haven't played Assassin's Creed Syndicate, fantastic entry into that Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I like
series.
that one too.
Yeah, it's so good. So like, I'm hearing both these. I think they could really knock it out, and I hope it's like modern day. If it's modern day and we got the time limit, like all the vehicles, modern weapons, I think that could be really, really well done. So hopefully the Ubisoft doesn't drop the ball and they make a killer game.
Yeah, I just want to change. I definitely just want to change. Yeah. All right, let's move on to listener emails and our topic of the week. Lord, you had the first topic?
Yep. So I was just kind of like hanging out this week, and I was like, man, like, what does gamer cred really mean? So then I was like, what? So like, if you played this game, like which game earns you the most like clout gamer cred on the street? And I just wanted to know what you guys thought, because in my mind, when I think of like, oh, like somebody who's games and you just throw around, like if somebody says Final Fantasy 7, I'm like, oh, that guy or that lady or that anybody, like they know what's up. They game, like they're gamers, like Final Fantasy 7. And then I just had to say, like, if they say drop Half-Life 2, then I'm like, okay, you're also a gamer. We're gaming.
Oh, I thought when you put this question out there, it was like, what game are you good at that makes you a hardcore gamer?
Nope.
So if someone's really good at it.
Good. Oh, no. This is just if they have played it, and this earns you.
I took it differently too.
I know. So, okay. Moulding and I took it differently, and so we're going to answer this one a little bit differently.
Okay, well.
Because I saw Moulding's answer, so then I answered the same way.
Yeah.
No, well,
I mean,
I thought
maybe
you guys.
Mine still might fit in there. Yeah, mine still
for sure.
Right.
Yeah, take it away.
Yeah, I think mine fit both the way I think about it and the way you think about it. So my first initial thought was any of the Dark Souls trilogy, any of those first 3 games. If you played through them, especially if you finished them, like, yes, there's a little bit of cred in there. Because those, especially the first one, was kind of not well known. They weren't. I mean, not until Elden Ring did those games completely explode. But like, if you knew about the first Dark Souls, which I did, and I played back in the day, I feel like that would give you a little bit of cred. And then my second choice was if you were good at Guitar Hero. And if you were good at Dance Dance Revolution, watching people play those games and be really good at it would make my jaw drop at the skill that it took to nail some of those high difficulty songs where their fingers are just moving so fast that you can't even, it's just a blur. and then or they're dancing so fast and they have like a crowd around them at an arcade that are watching them. Like I think it takes real talent. So I think it gives those gamers a little bit of cred.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
For me, it's like I go to what did I watch on streaming? What were the things I couldn't take my eyes off because the people legitimately had skill that I was just like, well, I suck and I'm not a good human because clearly this person's superior. And so there's two of them that I watched a lot of. First is DBD. I used to love Dead by Daylight, and I learned so much about the tiles on the map and the pathing and for chases by watching streamers and what they would do. And some people are just really, really talented. I'd learn a lot about killing and stalking and playing different killers in the game as well by watching them. So some people just have a knack for that game that I just never could. And then the second game that literally blew my mind, and this shouldn't be a huge surprise to you guys because I love platformers so much, but the real pros are in Mario Maker 2. If you've watched people like Grand Pooh Bear, Ryukar, these are streamers that are so good. They pull off runs that, I mean, it makes you horrified that something like that is even possible and in the game, but then you can't take your eyes off of it because the technical skill. And these people stream for hours, and I'm like, man, that stresses me out. I would be so frustrated, and I would have thrown my controller after the 5 minutes. But these guys are cool as cucumbers and pulling off some of the coolest tricks I've ever seen in these games. That Mario Maker 2 just, man, that takes some real skill.
Mario Maker's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy.
God. That Grand Pooh Bear guy.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
He's a legend. Like,
He's
some
who
of
I
the
want to
stuff,
grow up
like,
to be.
I'm like, how does he do it? Like, how do you even see it? I can't even wrap my brain around it.
How does he know what to do?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's crazy. Good picks. Both of you guys, good
nice.
picks. I loved it.
Absolutely.
Good. Well, that pretty much is wrapping things up for this episode. On that note, please make sure that you are subscribed to our socials, and on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button too. And on behalf of the Good Playing With You crew, Matt Lord, Matt Moulding, myself, Dan Whitehill, have a great weekend. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.